Welcome to the PFD Performance YouTube channel. Pretty friggin' deadly.
We're back out in the garage. New valve, old valve, definite height difference. Not really a diameter difference. Weird, considering there should be. Still haven't wrapped my head around why, but it doesn't matter. We got what we need. And we've got a new fun tool. We're gonna lap a valve. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Did I watch a YouTube video to help me figure it out? Yes. Will I do it correctly? We shall see. Got a nice little tube, a valve lapping compound. Gonna toss a little bit of oil on this bad boy. Cooperate. Oh, there we go. And go to your home. Yep. All right. And so, probably could have put this on before. What I've read is try and stick to about a quarter turn. And then you kind of listen for a slight sound change as you're doing it, because as it starts to like move the compound out of the way, it'll get a little bit lighter. Boop. Oh, she was full. Clean that up later. All right. So that seems like way too much, but I don't know. Maybe it's fine. I'll just rub a little bit of this around here. Plus, it's all over the back of the valve. So I think we should be okay. And then we stick this in. And we'll get our little suction cup dealy on. Now, so that sounds pretty coarse. Oh, and that's where it got a little quieter. And then I think they said just kind of like pull it out. And I'll try that one more time. So you just kind of like pull it out, jiggle it around, and that gets some fresh stuff in there. And all right, I'm just gonna grab a light and we'll see how we did. I don't know about you guys, but here in my garage, we go through these waves of tidying up, and then it turns into a disaster immediately. We're in the disaster phase. All right, let's see how we did. Did I do the thing? I don't know, I feel like it did something. All right, maybe that seems like it'll do. We got a nice consistent ring around the seat. And it looks like about the same on the valve. So I'll bring it in here. Might be tricky to see on this because it's so shiny. But There is a really nice, consistent kind of matte spot right in here. And it's really consistent around the whole valve. And then if I take you guys in here, and we'll grab the light, you can see a really nice, consistent gray ring. So I think we call that lapped. I don't know. Better than not lapping. So that was neat. Now I'm gonna put that in permanently. I'll double check the install heights though. I did fiddle with it a little bit earlier. So I'll toss you back up, and maybe just to make Tiffany's life a little bit more difficult, instead of throwing you on time lapse, I'll just leave you on and you can hear the ramblings of stressed out Sunday morning Ramsey, because we have a whopping 5 weeks to get ready for Miles of Mayhem. We're missing Big Sky Race Week. So try and make the best of it, and we'll make a hard push here in the next couple weeks, and hopefully we can make it all happen. So I'll give this a good clean. We don't need any of that valve lap and grit kicking around. It doesn't seem to be. Oh, coffee time. All right. Wow, the Amazon suction cup works good. We did get a little bit of compound on the valve stem, and we don't want that. We don't need to create any extra clearance in the valve guide, that's for sure. Boom, lapped. And toss a little bit of oil on this again, just for good measure, and go to your home. Okie dokie. Now we can tip you down. And I did go through all this, like I said, before we ordered the new valve. But let's just double check that I didn't do something goofy. I'm really in a phase of triple checking, because I'm wondering if the first go around with this, there's even the first round of checking. So why don't I make up for that by just like triple checking now? Makes sense to me. All right, and you come up. Thank you. And then you guys. And you guys. Okay, I'd say that's at 1.985, which should put it bang in line with the rest of them. Perfect. And I did have to throw an extra shim on this one, just the way it was machined. And I did have to do that on some of the other exhaust valves as well. But I think we are laughing. Before I get too carried away, I do need to install this valve seal. I think it was this guy. Oh yeah, that was a perfect one. Now the question is the hammer. Here it is. That seems to be sufficiently seated. Okie dokie. Oh. good. All right, well, the head, from a valve perspective, is officially assembled. We are gonna have a little bit of finicking with the push rod guides. I'm gonna start buttoning up a couple things up here, but I'm gonna get organized and tidy up some stuff that hasn't been tidied up in a while, and then we'll jump into that. So, if I make good progress, you'll see me in about 2 seconds. If I don't make good progress, you're still gonna see me in about, 0.2 seconds, but I might be wearing something different because it happened another time in my world, not yours. Anyway, valve lapped, valve springs all installed. I think we're ready to rip on that side of things. Well, I had a semi-productive couple hours, but unfortunately things didn't quite work out the way I wanted. You'll see the one piece guides are back on, and you might be able to see just a little hint of clearancing under those. Well, I was really hoping for the two-piece ones to help dial in the push rod alignment, but the heads, there just wasn't enough clearance. And I was really gonna have to grind in, and I didn't feel like, maybe poking through into an intake runner or something worse. So I tried a little bit, it wasn't enough. Ultimately, I don't know whether just with getting stuff installed, or maybe I kind of got them tweaked enough last time. For the most part, the rocker seemed aligned quite well. I came around here and I redialed in top dead center mark. So same thing as when I was degreeing the cam, just kind of set the dial indicator at top dead center, go to 50 thou before, 50 thou after, and then you can kind of find the middle, and then you're done. I also got the cam frost plug back in. I didn't have any like ultra gasket or whatever, so I just used a little bit of RTV. So I think that should work. Just a thin little skim around the. And then I think next steps, and I'm gonna have to do this later, but next steps are gonna be new water pump gaskets on the back side of the motor plate. And I think I need 2 more because I only have 2. And then I can get the motor plate back on. That's got the cam sync bracket. But once the motor plate's bolted back to the front of the motor, I'll probably look to stab it in here. 2 things I want to get done first is just take the transmission cooler lines off, let that drain out, because we got the new one, and we'll use some soft line, or not soft line, but like AN line, to run those, and we'll do a little bit bigger diameter so we can get a bit more flow. And then I'll probably try and fight a little bit with the trans dipstick, because you're supposed to have a locking one, and that one doesn't really lock. Like it's got a pressed fit, but it doesn't lock. It's just an O-ring. So I don't believe that meets what the NHRA says, where you need a locking dipstick. So that's unfortunate. Also, a bunch of guys have told me that the low car ones are a little bit finicky for setting transmission level. So I got a factory one. We probably just have to give her a little tweak or two to get around the motor plate. But that's another problem for another time. And then transmission pump seal. This one's had just a slight drip since we got the car, and this thing's been sitting. I tried to hang it a little bit, but we've got a fresh seal. We might as well put it in so we don't have to deal with that later. All in all, I think we're making some progress. It's better than no progress. And yeah, we'll just keep picking away at it. And one way or another, this thing's going back inside that engine bay. So I'll be making sure to show you guys how that all goes. Thanks for watching.